Not talking about religious freedom. We're talking about civil rights. And we're not talking about chicken sandwiches. We're talking about civil rights. This isn't freedom of speech. It is civil rights.
Right.
And a lot of people really are a little they're misunderstanding a little.
Yeah, they are. They don't get it. There is a difference between, like I said, the church wedding and a marriage license. You know, everybody should be entitled to a marriage license. And then if you choose to go to your church to get married and they want to marry you, that's more power to you. More power to you. We have plenty of churches that will marry people of the LGBT community, and they marry straight people there too. But I'm not going to go to their church and try to get married, so don't worry.
Yeah.
You know, your sanctity of marriage is all intact at your church. I am absolutely certain of that.
Yeah, and so is your divorce, and so is your second marriage, and so is your third marriage, and in some cases your fifth marriage.
Right, and your women on the side, or your...
And you can look down your nose at everything that I'm doing, but of course, you know, we certainly can't look at yours. You know, you said that your second experience wasn't as good.
No, the second one, not quite so pleasant. I did go in there, and we do have liaisons within the Dallas Police Department and the Sheriff's Department. You know, they're there to make sure that they always tell us that we're here for your protection. They're there to make sure nothing happens to us, which we love. And so that's a shout out to Laura Martin and then also Lieutenant Knight with the Sheriff's Department. But I got there, in the previous time my bail was set, our bond was set at $500. This time they tripled it to $1,500. So I didn't have enough cash with me to get bonded out. But one of the police officers who remembered me from the last time we were there said, "That's okay. They'll take you upstairs, but once you get upstairs, you can call Bo and get your."
Did they say that? Call Bo?
Yeah, we're on first name basis with this man. And but I got upstairs and I pushed the button to make the phone call, and they said, "What?" And I said, "Please turn the phone on." And they said, "Nope," and they hung up. And they did this for 5 hours. So Lieutenant Knight had come away from her family to come check and see how things were, and she was not too happy to find out about the $1,500 bond. But when she knew that I was still in there, she went up there, found me, and took me to a room where there was supposed to be telephone service, and she had to go and tell them 3 different times to turn that phone on, and they finally did. And then she went down and talked to Bo, and she told Bo, once the bond comes through, it's supposed to be expedited, and you know, everything should be fine. Well, one police officer, later on, you know, they're calling my name, because I've been moved from the cell that I was in. And they opened the door, and I said, "You're calling me." And he said, "What?" And he kind of was up in my face, and I said, "You're the one calling my name, so what?" And then he said, "I don't have to tell you a effing thing." And then I sat there for another hour and a half. And then they came and finally processed me out. So it was a long ordeal, but you know what? It was for the right reason. You know, and if they want to be like that, that's fine. But I'm there strictly because I tried to get married to somebody. You know, they can allow people go to their little chicken shacks and do all that hate and get away with it. And they throw me in jail for just trying to love somebody.
Right.
So
what do you think the delay was about? Why didn't they turn on the phone? I mean, why was the second experience so much different than the first?
You know, I'm not sure if they were trying to let me know that if I continue to do this, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
Right.
But you know what? Every time they deny me my civil rights, it makes me madder and madder and madder. So, you know, and I'm not sure. I know it makes a lot of other people angry too. And there will be more demonstrations and more protests at the marriage counter license. A lot of people have said that's not the place to do it. You should be going to Austin. You should be going to City Hall. You should be going this. You know, we've made the trips to Washington, D.C. and Austin. We've marched on both. We've written our letters. We've called them. We've met with, you know, mayors and congressmen and senators and everybody else. And do we have marriage equality yet? No.
No.
So it's just like the kids back in the 60s sitting at the counters where it said whites only. They sat there and then they endured insults and cuss words and threats and everything else, but they sat there and they said, "I demand to be served." And that's what we're going to do at these marriage license counters. We demand to be seen, we demand to be heard, and we demand our marriage license.
So what's next?
Well, what's next? I have now 2 court dates that I'm looking at this month on the 23rd and the 31st. Our law team's going to deal with those. I'm not sure if they're going to have maybe now looked at it. And then Bose is on the 26th of September. So, they have these funny rules about doing the same thing over and over again in the same time period, and they can actually enhance your penalties for doing that. So I've been advised strongly to not stay at the marriage license counter past 4:30 if I go back up there again. But I know there's a rally in the works being planned for Coming Out Day, which is October the 11th.
Yep.
And perhaps a rally there in the outside area of the records building. But we're not going to go away. And just, they have to know that we're serious about this. We have to continue to go back. We have to have couples continue to apply for marriage license. We have to continue to ask why. And then we have to also start lobbying to get, a passage for marriage equality. But it's not going to happen here in Texas. Again, if you leave it up to the voters to decide whether or not I have civil rights or you have civil rights or Cutie Pie over there, Danny, has civil rights, they're not going to get them. They're not going to give them to us. So it really needs to be the Supreme Court stepping in and just, manning up and womaning up for the few that are there and dealing with this issue. It's a civil rights issue, and they need to handle it.
Absolutely, and so now we have a Republican ticket of 2 men who vehemently, if you will, really oppose gay rights, oppose really don't ask, don't tell, or don't oppose it. They want to reinstate it. I do think that they have dropped that, Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan will not be the voice of LGBTQ people.
Oh no, they won't.
And if elected, they will certainly slow the process of civil rights for gay people.
I totally agree with that. And there's also Supreme Court justices that need to be replaced, and they really need to look at these court justices clearer and figure out
their
where they stand
time frame in which they can serve.
Oh yeah. That for life thing is it's good if you can get it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a great gig if you get it. It's a very small group of people, and they are extremely powerful.
Very powerful. Yep.
And I think that some of their thoughts are very antiquated, and there's supposed to be a separation of church and state, and I don't believe there is.
Right.
And I think that's part of the problem with this whole civil rights for gay people is the whole religious aspect. What do you think about having a marriage license day and really kind of plug up the system? Can we get 300-400 people to go in and apply for marriage licenses? They certainly can't arrest that many people. Can they handle that many people?
Oh, they certainly can arrest that many people. I can assure you of that. I think that if we started doing it regularly all over the country and all over the state of Texas, and even in the states, the few 6 states in Washington, D.C. where they have marriage equality, even as we speak, there's people that are trying to get that removed.
Sure.
So those people aren't safe. They go, we got marriage equality here, move here, move here. Well, yes, but you have people that are actually trying to take that away from you.
Yeah. Like in the case of Washington, it is. I think it is now going to go under a vote.
See, and yeah, I'd love to have a chance to vote on other people's lives, and just say, oh yeah, you can do that. No, you can't do that. No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
And we don't get that opportunity, really. I mean, do you consider that the gay community is a minority?
The gay community, we are a minority. We are, and even within our gay community, we have other minorities. I would like to see all of us kind of pull together a little tighter, kind of like we did back in the 70s against Anita Bryant and all that hate campaign that was coming out then. I think we could tighten up our community a little bit and really let them know that we're tired of this crap that they're giving us. We've had 3 lesbians killed in Texas this summer. We don't know where it's coming from. That means there's some hate going on out there, and some women are being targeted. We have hate crimes here locally. People spraying nasty things on people's cars and setting them on fire and carving horrible words into a woman's stomach. These are some things that we have to definitely deal with. The issue of bullying for all kids, but especially kids that are perceived to be gay, lesbian, or bisexual or transgendered. It's all these hate groups that are allowed to flourish here that money goes to in the free speech and cloaked in prayer, but they make it impossible for these kids to have a life, a safe life or a safe relationship with their peers at school. And it's sad, and that we've got too many kids killing themselves over this issue. So
they really are being taught that they are less than, and that they should be ashamed of themselves, and that they're going to hell anyway.
Right.
And so really the attitude really does have to change. People, I am so disturbed when people think that gay people beget gay people. And,
Right.
where are we coming from?
Right.
We're coming from straight families. I am equally as angered by it as you are. My story is a little different. I don't want to get married at this point. I have wanted to get married in the past. I want you to get married. In fact, I demand that you be able to get your marriage license. And I'm tired of waiting for it.
Thank you.
And I think most of us should be. If the world population is 65 billion people approximately, then that means, if you do the math, if there are 10%, if gay people are 10% of the population, that's 6.5 billion people.
Well, there's a lot of people that are being, persecuted way worse than we are here. There's other places, other countries, South Africa, some places in South America. Iran, yes. Oh, some of those Middle Eastern countries. And my heart goes out to those folks. And we've got hate groups here that are sending money there that will condone executing gay and lesbian people. And that's just downright sad. And they're doing this in the words of, prayer and God and, and all this kind of stuff. It just makes me sick.
The Council for Family Research, the CEO of that, has said that gays should be exterminated or gays should be exported. I don't understand why people are not horrified by statements like that.
It just sounds like Nazi Germany to me when they start that kind of talk, and no disrespect to anybody who perished during the Holocaust, but that's one of the reasons why I had our prison numbers tattooed on my arm, to remind me of my civil rights violation, of our civil rights violations. But when they start talking about putting us in camps or behind wire fences or forcibly forcing us to move, these are human rights violations. This is beyond civil rights. This is
genocide.
Human rights. Yes, it is.
It really is. It is just plain and simple genocide.
After our first arrest, Amnesty International did contact us because this is a human rights violation. And Bo and I, right off the bat, we got thousands of emails, but one of the recurring themes of the emails was from people in Canada. Come up here to Canada. We have marriage equality in Canada. The whole country hasn't fallen apart because of it. Our buildings didn't crumble. Our society didn't go to crap. So come up here. More invitations to Canada. So we may be going up to Vancouver here this summer and checking it out.
And Canada's beautiful all over the place. One of my favorite places is Toronto, and I love Montreal, and Vancouver is exquisite.
It's a beautiful city.
It is extremely beautiful. But we live here.
We live here, and our fight is here. And as much as I appreciate all the invitations to go other places, this is our home for now, and we're going to keep fighting for as long as we can keep fighting, because this is something that's important.
And you talked already about the Free Major and Bo Facebook site. It's called Free Major and Bo.
Right.
And do you have like a help center? Do you have like a website where people can get involved to help or to continue to watch or send money?
Well, one of the biggest supporters of marriage equality that we've been working with is the Get Equal group. Now, we have Get Equal Texas.
Yes.
And we've worked with the regional director, the state director, and also on the national level with Get Equal. And they have groups in states, in all the states. So we have links to Get Equal, and in fact, Get Equal put together some T-shirts for us. Fighting for marriage equality should not be a crime, and it's got our picture handcuffed there, and it does say Free Major and Beau. You can go on to Cafe Press. If you buy one of these T-shirts, $6.40 goes into our defense fund.
Okay, let's say that again. We go to
Cafe Press.
Cafe Press.
And it's Free Major and Beau, and there's T-shirts there, and koozies and coffee mugs and just about everything that you can make at Cafe Press. But you know what?
I've seen the T-shirt, and it's really cute.
Well, I've gotten some slack from some of the people in the community over this. They think that we're doing this for publicity, or we're doing this to make money or something like that, and I hate to let them know, but so far we're out $3,500. Beau's missed time from work. He can't miss any more work. I'm not really free to be missing a lot more work myself. This is certainly not for personal glory. This is for our rights.
Absolutely.
This is for our personal integrity, and this is for ourselves to get married. But this isn't for personal glory or, say, look at us, look at us. We're fighting the fight for ourselves, but for other people too, and it kind of aggravates me. So the Cafe Press kind of came up because I did get some slack over that. But I would like for everybody to go buy a T-shirt because it's going to be expensive to fight the state of Texas.
Yes, it is. And when people say that you're looking for glory, I mean, really, seriously, you're looking at a big battle, and that battle is going to be costly.
Right. Well, they say, you did it for attention. Well, part is true. We did do it for attention.
Absolutely. I agree with that. But the attention is not for you and Beau. The attention is for the inequality.
Right. It's for the cause.
It is for to be recognized and to make a statement about I demand my marriage equality.
Yep.
Shortly after Jack died, I put it on my top burner and put it to the front of marriage equality because I don't want anyone to go through the things that I went through. I had an insurance agent ask me, well, why didn't you go to Iowa to get married?
Right.
Because, I was always referring to him as my husband. And she asked me for some sort of affidavit of civil union or for marriage. And I said, well, we don't have that. We had everything else. I mean, we had power of attorney. We had medical power of attorney. We had all of the paperwork. We did not have any kind of government-issued marriage license or civil union. And this woman in North Carolina asked me why we didn't go to another state to get married, and I was extremely horrified by that. And I said to her, well, I come back to Texas a single man, and so it's still not valid in the state in which I live. So why would I travel 500 miles to get a affidavit of marriage if it's not going to be valid in the state in which I live?
Right.
And I don't want you to be horrified by that if you lose Beau. I don't want Beau to be horrified by that if he loses you. It really is a civil rights that we are being denied.
Yes, exactly. But you know what? They're not going to actually stop us from getting married. Today is the 14th. Now, in less than 1 month, we're getting married on September the 13th. And I guess we're going to be getting married illegally, but we don't care. We're still going to stand up in front of our family and friends and declare our love for one another, and then we're still going to have our reception, and we're still going to go on our honeymoon, and we're still going to live happily ever after, whether they like it or not.
Where is the marriage? Where is the ceremony? Is it going to be here in Texas?
The ceremony, yes, is going to be here in Dallas at a friend's house out there by Botman Lake. They have a nice park next to their home. And then we're going to have our reception at the Dallas Eagle. It's a nice place, a nice bar. But, instead of having our guests bring gifts or everybody's invited in the whole city. But anybody who
be careful.
Just come on down. We're going to have a great time.
Be careful. But so that's September 13th.
September 13th, that's a Thursday.
And it's going to be at the reception's going to be at the bar.
At the bar.
How exciting.
But no gifts. We're having a stellar lineup of entertainment. In fact, if your friend Edna Jean, if she'd like to come and do a number, she's more than welcome to that night.
Absolutely.
And 100% of the money raised by the entertainers that night will be split between some charities that we've picked.
Very good. That's exciting. So that's September 13th. And tell me, is it Jimenez or Jimenez?
Well,
I've heard of both.
it is whatever you want to make it.
What is the actual pronunciation?
See, my family came over from Mexico in the 1870s, and back in those days, there was no such thing as English as a second language. My descendant married a German woman in down near San Antonio. The common language was English. So around 1900, we changed the spelling of our last name from 2 E's to 2 I's, and they also changed the pronunciation to Jimenez. And
Jimenez.
And we kept, getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and then every once in a while we get a little bit darker. But we're both Bo and I, both have Mexican fathers and white moms. So, but they keep giving him my paperwork because he just looks darker. I said, no, it's the other way around, folks.
That's funny. And so he has already changed his name.
We're both changing our names, but we got sidetracked with going to jail and now going to jail again. So we have all of our paperwork, but we're both changing our last name, and we're both taking each other's middle names. So it'll be Bo Edville Aragon Jimenez and Mark Edville Aragon Jimenez.
Well, all right. One of the things that I have mentioned before is that I regret that I did not change my name, and it was going to be sort of a statement of demand of marriage equality, and this is back in 1992.
Nice.
And I regret that I did not do it. Jack's last name was Bliss.
Oh, see.
And so I was going to be Richard Bliss, and I just didn't want to be called Dick Bliss.
See, that
But now, in the end, or in 20 years later, I wish that I had changed my name.
Right.
So you're getting married on the 13th,
Mm-hmm.
and are there websites that we can come in and donate money to the cause?
Well, now that, because everything was kind of happening all at once. We got arrested, and then it was my birthday, and then it was his birthday, and then we had a court date, and I got arrested again. And so I'm a little bit lax on this, but we are having a guy that's putting together a web page for us specifically for the wedding, and people can go in and make donations. Our big charity is going to be Youth First Texas, who we've raised all the different groups that we belong to, Leather Knights, Dallas Bears, NLA. They like Youth First. This is a great place where the GLBT youth can come and find a safe place, meet with people that will help tutor them with their schoolwork or with SAT tests, or just provide a safe place for them to come together in a non-threatening environment. They have dinners. They have, right now we're doing a drive for school supplies at all the different all the different clubs. I think we did JR's first.
Yes.
And we've moved over. I think it's Woody's this weekend, and it'll be the Dallas Eagle next weekend. But we have the community coming together to support these kids, which we both love. And so they're our primary beneficiary of any money that's raised at the reception.
Very good. And that's September 13th. You're going to be getting married on Bachman Lake, and then you're having your reception at the bar. And really, seriously, anybody can come.
Anybody can come, and we hope a lot of people do come. And we
What's
do have
the time?
The time for the reception will be, bar time, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
We should be, the wedding itself, I've already assured my mom, it's Texas, it's September, it's still hot. I said, Mom, it's only going to be about 30 minutes. You're going to be fine. And so the wedding will go from about 7 to 7:30. That'll give people a chance to kind of make their way to the club and just, have a nice night of it.
I'm going to be in Germany.
Oh, lucky. Well, maybe we'll put it up on YouTube or something for you.
Absolutely.
That's also the week of that Allen Ross Texas Freedom Parade will be the following Sunday.
Yes.
So our plan is to march with one of our local groups and have a banner on our car that says, just married but not legal. And continue to make the statement to the community that we're fighting, and we need y'all to fight with us.
And you are becoming the face of marriage equality, especially right here in Dallas. But it is getting national attention. Have you been contacted by anybody nationally to do any interviews?
Well, we've had a lot of support from some of the famous bloggers. Joe My God has put us in his column a couple of times. Perez Hilton, did his little thing with the white paintbrush and said he loves us. And we've had a couple of other groups and organizations approach us about doing things. And we had an independent filmmaker do a documentary of our most recent trip to the marriage counter. And it's on our YouTube, it's on our Facebook page, and it's getting pretty good hits about it. It's about a 15-minute video, but it really outlines exactly what happened to us that day, from being ordered out of the line to finally me being taken away in handcuffs. And again, just a reminder, this was on the day that was the anniversary of the ratification of the Declaration of Independence. So it means something to me, but he actually did a pretty decent job with it.
Well, I really appreciate the hard work that you guys are doing, and I appreciate you being very steadfast. I wish you nothing but the best in your marriage on the 13th.
Thank you.
And I hope that the entire city comes to the Eagle September 13th.
Well, if we
at
tell
9
them
p.m.
you're going to be there, then they will. And that cutie pie over there, Dan.
I'm not sure. I think I'm going to be in Germany.
Oh, no, they can just tell them you'll send a video to us or something.
I will have to do some sort of video for you guys.
Oh, actually, I know you're running out of time, but somebody had suggested a remake of a song, Today I'm Going to Marry the Beau, or something like that. I'll have to remind you about it.
It should have been me.
See?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Just Keep Breathing right here on Rational Broadcasting. My guest today, Major Jimenez.
Or you can say Jimenez. I go both ways.
Jimenez, the face of marriage equality. Good luck to you and Bo.
Well, thank you very much. It was a
Thanks for
pleasure
being
here.
here.